Greetings, everyone. Rev.Hawksblood here. All right. Sorry, my co-host can't come on today. She's got some serious problems. She's going through a lot. Uh, Not with just the abductions and things like that, but her life is really going through hard times. Uh, I send my prayers out to her. I hope everything works out this week, but it's not good. People, now, if you've been watching my show or not, she's been dealing with a lot of physical problems based on radiation poisoning and abduction. Now, there's something I want to tell everybody out there. I usually don't promote too much stuff, but I'm going to promote this because it's really, really, really important, people. And send it to every UFO person out there that talks about good things and how good aliens are. Okay? The person's name's Gary Nolan, Nolan. All right. He was on Tucker Carlson, and that's Carlson. They did an interview, and you need to watch it. It's explaining that the government went to him because he's doing research on DNA and cancer, and they came into his office with 100 pictures and files of people that supposedly have been abducted and either died, have problems, and many other different things. Check it out. Listen to his results. It can't be perfect, but it's better than not even knowing what's going on in the real world. Now, this was just put out rather recently, so check it out. And I'm serious, you need to watch it. If you care about the UFO world, what's really happening, if you don't even want to go to a conference, just watch that video. It'll open your eyes a little bit more about what the truth is and what's really going on. And it's not just about the good aliens and the good ship's lollipop. All right, people. I'll repeat that again near the end of the show in case nobody heard that. But that's where it's going to start today. Now, since Tina's not here, I can go into a little more spiritual things on as well, and how it's all connected, because people might not understand the difference between spiritual and physical, and they are different. Where's the connection between them? There is, but very few people have that ability to become aware of that. Many people say they're spiritual, or they're working with aliens, and all these contradictory things to what the truth is. So I'm going to start off, and you might not like it, and if you don't, I'm sorry, but this is what I feel is very important, people. Now, get out a paper and pencil. I'm a bad speller, so I might have to read some of these names and tell you how to say them and spell them. But I'm going to go through a list of names. These people are out, mainstream speakers, and they're teaching their so-called teachings, their truth. But what is it really doing to humans, to people that believe them, people that accept what they're saying? I'm going to go through them one at a time. I mean, people that I dealt with, people that I know. I'm not going to go into the people that died because they're not around to defend themselves. And I always leave it open for a debate anytime with any speaker out there, mainstream, that could speak about spiritualism, religion, even near-death experience, out-of-body experience, remote viewing, astral projection, reincarnation, and all those kind of words. Because do I say I'm the genius of it all? No, but I experienced it all. Gods, little gods, angels, deities, all that I can talk about, including God itself. So people, I'm not here to make money. I'm not here to pull a wool over your eye, not to get you to buy my books. I'm only here to give you the truth that I know. You don't have to accept it. You don't have to accept it, people. I can only give you what I have experienced. I'm going to be 70 years old in a couple months. This all started for me when I was 6 years old. It's something I didn't want to get into. In my earlier lifetime, I wanted to have a perfect marriage. I wanted to have children, have a wife, have a home, and live a normal life. But I was never given that chance. I'm not going to go into the bad parts and all the other things that went on in my life, but it never happened. I was married twice, I had a native wedding once. So within all that, I didn't have a lot of girlfriends. I wasn't out going with every girl that I could. I limited it to 8 people in my whole life. Uh, so I'm not a player. I never did things for money. I mean, I worked to make money. I worked for the phone company 20 years. I worked as a plumber 10 years. I started lecturing, doing all UFO work and things like that about 25 years ago. I was involved with the UFO world since I was 6, but I was working in a good way. A good way. I was doing. I started doing hypnosis when I was 14. All right. I had my all my friends hypnotized. I could get them to do anything I told them and all that kind of stuff. But then when I got a little bit older, I went into and I created the word. People, I don't care what anybody else says. I'll tell you, I was young when I created the word past life regression. I started hypnotizing people, and I wanted to bring them back to before they were born, when they were born, what happened after they before they came into this body, and if they had problems, bring them up to the point where they had the problems in this lifetime. But I created cards, business cards. I lived in Jersey. I was only doing it for friends. I didn't do it professionally. Uh, I was doing it for my friends only, really. But I created the word, and I was doing it. And I found out so much information. But I learned many things along the way. Most hypnotists are not spiritual or even close to it. They don't know what they're doing. And I hate to say this, people. In the world, people that are abducting and stuff go to these so-called hypnotists and things like that. But if you're not a spiritual being or spiritually aware, for another word, when you do hypnosis, you get involved with a lot of things, not just the person's mind, with the things that are trapped him or around him and that are around you, people. No hypnotist is going to talk about it because they don't even know. I can tell you things that you should know if you go into hypnosis. One is how you create your own protection, how you make sure when you're reading something, it's not what you're reading of yourself as well. When you hypnotize somebody, people, you hypnotize all the entities that are around that person, as well as the things that are around you. So everything that's in that realm wants to talk. You get someone, oh, I was this, I was that. That doesn't mean it's that person that you're hypnotizing. So, I mean, most of them, they say something, okay, they'll believe it right away. And when you were on the ship, well, what could have happened 20 lifetimes, 100 lifetimes ago? Could have been a lot of different things. But without all that awareness, and then never mind the protection to keep you and the person you're working with protected, and they don't even go into that. Or they say they need people watching you. Yeah, because hypnotists do a lot of bad things to people when they hypnotize as well. All right. And that's why you should always have somebody you know personally with you. Always. Never trust anybody else when they're playing with your life, playing with your soul, playing with who you really are. All right. That's something, if you ever decide to go to a hypnotist, you should know those facts. Please, I don't do it anymore. I don't want to get pulled into that part of people's lives right now. All right. But here's the thing. I'm going to say names, and I want you to check these people out yourself, because these people are creating ideas in many people's minds, getting people to believe things, to accept things, to be programmed with ideas. All right, this isn't a religious class. This is a life class. Soul is not a spiritual thing, a religious thing. And the word spiritual, really what man creates the word spiritual, has nothing to do with soul. When these people say they're spiritual, what's it mean? Are they aware of themselves as soul and what soul really needs to do and what it wants to do, which mind doesn't let it do? No. While they tell you you're the most important thing, you could be incredibly better, and all, you are what you are. If you understand that there's no reason to change reality, to change yourself. And there's no reason to be here if you become an unaware being. This is like kindergarten, people. And if you want to stay in kindergarten forever, you can reincarnate over and over and stay in kindergarten, because you don't learn anything outside of this reality. Even scientists that claim they're learning all this stuff and showing us this stuff, they can't prove anything. They can't prove anything outside of our universe. Never mind the ideas that they're trying to program us to accept. They can't prove where life came from. They can't prove when the human life started. They can't prove anything. And still they want to make these theories, and they say, don't believe conspiracy theories. Did you ever hear the word conspiracy theories, people? All right, Jesse Ventura did a show for a couple of years, and he talked about conspiracy theories, and he tried to prove them right or wrong, which he did. And guess what? They weren't wrong. I don't think there was ever a wrong conspiracy theory that Jesse Ventura did a show on. All right. Now, when we talk about a conspiracy theory, the only difference between all right, people, if you're still here, I'm sorry for that. I guess the government didn't want me to talk like usual. Now, it's been happening a lot. We just found out Men in Black are listening to my show. Not that I got millions of followers, which I don't, But when you're talking the truth, people worry and listen. You're saying garbage, very few people care. All right. Now, I don't know who blocked me, who shut my site off. It's the second time now in a month. Uh, I know it's not my computer. I know it's not the cable lines or anything like that. For it just to get taken down, and then an error came up. All right, I know the company's going to say, check your cables, check this, check that, but everything's fine. I had to shut it off and restart it. And if I lose you again, I'm sorry. I hope they don't do it again, which usually they won't, because I'm telling everybody what's happening. All right. The truth is, if you put it out right away when you get it, there's less chances of something happening, because if you keep it and hide it, like, why would Trump keep documents for a long period of time that are dangerous to his life or to his career? You destroy them. Why don't you destroy them right away? Why would I keep them for a year or two and say, well, I got these papers, I know I should get rid of them? No. I got blocked for saying that already today. So, people, this is the real world. Things are happening at an incredible speed, and the things that are happening are not beneficial to the human race. I should say middle class or poor people where we are, where I am. All right, if you're rich, good for you. You're involved with the good side that are trying to make the world better for them, not for us. All right. People, like I said, I'm going to say a bunch of names. I'm going to give you that again. Maybe that's why they took it down right away. All right. Let me just get to the right spelling. Gary Nolan, Nolan. Gary Nolan was on Tucker, Tucker, Carlson, Carlson, on an interview. You need to watch it, people. Find a link, find a show before it's taken away, disappears, whatever. I mean, it's still there right now. It's going to show you what the government's doing to one of these high-tech college degree scientists that's working on DNA and cancer. They came to him with 100 files on UFO abductions, people that are sick, died, and having problems. And they're trying to get his take or what the reason behind it and stuff. And he did. Check it out. Check what he says. I'm not going to say he's 100% right. I mean, I'm a little closer to the truth than he is as far as what's really going on. Because he was never involved with seeing a ship or an alien next to it or any of those kind of things. So he doesn't know how real it really is. Only by the pictures and what people said and wrote and things like that. So please watch it. It's a long interview. Watch it, people. You'll learn something, I promise you. Something that's important, like what's really going on. He's not beating around the bush. He's given his knowledge, his truth, and it's not from La La Land. He's got his degree. He's doing the research. Now, I'm going to go into people that are trying to take over, doing the same thing, but with their research. All right, I'm going to start. Let's see, where do I want to start? Now, get a paper and pencil. I want you to check out these names, people. I'm not making this up. I'm telling you the truth. You search the history, you search what's going on. I'm not making up things about these people. I mean, they're not going to come and try to sue me because I'm telling the truth. I'm telling what they said, what they believe, what they're telling people. All right. There's a person on the internet. I was told to check him out. His name's Lawrence Wendell. All right. He's claiming like he's the closest thing to God there is. All right. And he talks a great story, if you want to believe it, where he is in this dimensional realm and stuff. He's here on his physical plane, living and breathing air on this planet. Check him out. And it's Wendell, Wendell. All right. Lawrence Wendell. Check it out, people. Read his stuff. He puts things up every day, who and how and what he's connected to, why he's not in the United States right now, and a bunch of things. All right, I'm going to go through these just a little about each one. James Gillian of the East City Ranch. Personally, we don't agree on anything. He says, I'm coming from the dark, and he's coming from the light. Because everything he says is love and light. The aliens are good. All aliens are good. And everything else. the sad part is the first alien I ever saw was the same alien he saw. Maybe not the same one, but it was the same race. But he said he had a good experience, and I kind of did not. So, are all aliens good or bad? No, they all have an agenda, people. Agenda. Every race has an agenda. When a race sends people out on a ship, there's an agenda why they're sending it out. It's not go out there, do whatever you want, go to a planet, do whatever you want. No, it's not like that, people. When we put a ship up, do we tell them to go to a planet, do whatever they want? No, they don't. So you don't put stupid people, drug people, any kind of people that aren't completely programmed by what you want them to do on a ship. It costs a lot of money to do something. All right. So James Gillian has a place called the East SETI Ranch. Now, the SETI name came from two different organizations a long time ago, based on trying to communicate with aliens in space. And there was one by the government, and there was a private sector called the SETI. All right. And I was friends with the private one, with the president and vice president. The president was a female, the vice president was a male. But I was friends with them up until they were killed, and they said it. I was in touch with them near the end, and they said to me, well, they were in their office. People came in, men in black, and they were injected. And they told them that you're not going to be able to do anything about that injection. So she went out to a native reservation, went to a couple medicine people for 2 weeks to see if they could help heal her. And when she came back, she said she was deathly sick. She died a week later. The vice president died about 3 weeks later after that. And that was the East SETI Ranch, the private one. I mean, I'm sure you remember the movie. Jodie Foster was in it, and it was based on SETI. But you don't hear much about it, even though we got sounds and they're talking right now. All right. So I'm not into that. I mean, I'll get into that as we move along. But James Gillian opened up his ranch for people to come out there to see UFOs. He's near an army base. If you're near an alien army base, you're going to see ships all the time. So he does. I mean, he thinks they're like greeting him and saying hi and all those kind of things. Well, I did research in UFO world for many years. We were on government property, and we filmed incredible things for 6 years. Sergeant 18 and I, from 1996 to 2002, we filmed just about every kind of ship there is, creature, entity, and we're the first people to go public saying we can film orbs anywhere, and not just one, multiple orbs. It wasn't dust on a lens. It wasn't all the things they said it was at first. Oh, it's a digital camera. I mean, I started with a real camera, but it cost too much money to develop 3 rolls of film in a week. I mean, I wasn't a millionaire. And to buy the film, I had to buy 1,000 film. And then to develop it, it was a lot of money when you go to 3 rolls of film, 36 pictures in each roll. All right. Then I actually sold my whole camera, which is about $3,000. I got a $500 digital camera. And then we changed to digital. But it's easy to film stuff if it's there for real. It's not a make-believe camera and all those kind of things. Well, it's this and that. No. Orbs are real, people. I mean, I'm not saying you can't see dust and different things at times, sure. But we filmed orbs moving through things and things like that. So I'm not making things up as I move along. All right, I'm not with Sergeant 18 anymore. We kind of had a problem. We did Kerry Cassidy's show for 9 months, and we showed pictures of UFOs every week. We showed anywhere from 3 to 4 to 5 pictures every week of ships and entities and creatures. The only thing I don't agree with at that time was he blew smoke and created images. And I was never supportive of that, because a cloud of smoke can form things, and if you got a creative mind, you could make it into something. Even though it could be like a silhouette of something for real, doesn't mean it's real. Because he did bring out Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny, and all those kind of things. So, well, guess what? I don't know what's going on with my camera, my lens and stuff, but it's blacking out. So I stop if you hear me stopping. But I didn't agree with that part of it, which he promoted a lot, which I did not. But we have actual photographs of just about every kind of ship. We saw things and we heard things uh, beyond your wildest dreams. You wouldn't even want to dream about some of the stuff we were dealing with. We took a few people out there, not many, because it's government land. It says you will get shot if you get caught on this property. All right. And we did it for 6 years straight. We went out 4 days a week, half of the night, and filmed all night. So I can go into a story. I'll do it one day. If I'm alive and healthy and well, I'll do it. But it will be based on what happened in Wanakee, New Jersey. It's where Tesla was working with DuPont. It's where ships went in and out of the reservoir for 9 months. It's the most important UFO story that nobody talks about in any important level. There was a couple people. Peter Moon was friends with, what's his name? Involved with the Montauk Project. What's his? Not Phil Snyder. Sorry, good name. But Al Bielek and Preston Nichols. Preston Nichols, all right, was never in the time travel zone. He never went back in time. Al Bielek did. Preston Nichols went into stories and all kinds of UFO stories and everything else. But they wrote a book about the Montauk Project and everything else, but they didn't know half of it. All right. They based it on a base that was in Long Island, out near the Montauk Point. I'm not going to get into it. It's a really horrible story. So with that, I'm going to move forward. Now, getting back to James Gillen, he claimed a lot of things. When I met him, he was staying upstairs in the house with my friend that was living upstairs for a couple of weeks. And I went to his workshop and I asked him a few questions. He goes, "Well, you're coming from the dark side." So I said, "I'm coming from the truth. All right. There's no good aliens, people. No matter what you hear, no matter what you see or what people tell you. And when you hear the new word, which I bring up every time on a show, and it's called experiences, they use that word because they don't like the word abduction. Even though abduction is what it really means, and experience means a programmed idea that these people are fed by an alien or government. All right. So to prove it, check it out. Listen to their stories. Listen to what they say. Look at the proof. 0. All right. Now, again, I said we filmed things. And I mean, I saw my first alien when I was 12. I saw my first ship come and abduct my brother at 12. At 6. I can go into those stories, but it's not important right now. The only thing that's important right now is what's happening right now. The story about Roswell is outdated. Who cares what happened, people? There was many thousands of other stories very equal to that nobody talks about. And they still got to talk about one story. And here's a fact, people, that nobody even knows, that they don't even talk about. 3 ships were taken down when Roswell happened, not 1. Does anybody ever talk about the other 2? I'm telling you, I worked with a person. I don't even want to say his name because they tried killing him. They reprogrammed him. He has a horrible life in the UFO world. But he was the first person to talk about Nibiru. And he went around the United States. He was a native dancer and everything else. But when I'm bringing it up for people with truth, things happen. Bad. So why am I still alive? I have no clue. Maybe, they want the truth that I'm saying. Why don't they just take me and try to get it from my mind? Because I tell everything I know publicly. I'm not like blocking ideas, but I'm not directly attacking the government. The government, our Army, Navy, Marines, all have to work for the rich millionaires. Period. That's who pays them. That's who supports them. They're the ones that want their protection. All right? Meaning, anything happens, why there's underground cities, which nobody talks about. Why? All right? Why there's bases underground? Why the Army base is like 6 levels down, here in Hawaii even. So, when people talk about things, and there's underground tunnels that go all around the world, do you hear anything about that? Why? Because you're not rich, you're not a millionaire or billionaire, and you don't have your own home down there either. So there's a lot of things people don't understand, and nobody asks questions. Nobody cares. They'd rather hear the story. Oh, a good alien picked me up last night, and they showed me multiple universes. So, are we ever going to get to them? Are you ever going to get to them? And why would you want to? All right. I can go into stories that are real, that aren't make believe, but I want to stick with these names, people, for you to look them up, check them out, see what they preach, see what they say, see what they're trying to teach you to accept and understand. Well, James Gillen has people from all over the world coming there to see a UFO. I got a book out, How to See a UFO. It's real easy if you want to see one. It'll take a couple weeks, but I'm promising you'll see one, at least one, in that time frame. Are you ready? Is there a reason why you want to see a UFO? Seeing a UFO doesn't prove anything about what race is on it or what they're here for. So I think it's a little more important to understand why there's aliens here, what they're really doing, which they don't talk about much. And that's why they eliminated the word abduction, because basically that's what they're really doing. And during the abductions, what happens are very serious problems to the planet. Nobody on this planet knows the numbers. All right. There's no clue to how many people get abducted in a day or a week or in a month around the planet. And many people have no awareness of it. I was working with people with missing time when I was 24 years old. And it was a big thing. I was just in my car. I sat there. I closed my eyes. I woke up. It was 4 hours later. I fell asleep. I woke up and it was a different day. I mean, missing time is what people get when they come back from an abduction. All right. Because there was a deal that people weren't supposed to remember what happened when they were abducted. But since people became a little bit more aware to fight the resistance of being programmed, we're able to see a little through that. So and I'm telling you what I think and what I know as truth. They decided, since they're becoming aware of what's happening, we got to reprogram them to give them something to be aware of, meaning a good thought. People like to hold on good things, not bad things. So give them a good thought. They take you, they abduct you, they do what they want to you, and then they give you a program saying, oh, we showed you Mars and we let you eat on Mars, blah, blah, blah. Whatever this ridiculous story is. All right. James Gillen said a 45-foot alien came out of the mountain. I forgot what the mountain's called. And he said it was walking towards him. And I said, yeah, guess what? It disappeared because it was a hologram. Oh, no, it was a real alien. Okay, a 45-foot alien came out of the mountain, walked towards him, and then just disappeared. Why? All right, people say a lot of things, and they don't even understand what's happening to them. Like Travis Walton. All right, you saw his movie, Fire in the Sky. He doesn't know what happened. He only knows bits of what really happened, even working with a hypnotist. All right. So much for James Gillen. Like I said, you want to go out to a piece of property, pay, and then look up to the sky to see a UFO, go ahead. But you can do that yourself in your backyard. If you got street lights, go to a park, go to a mountain, go somewhere where it's much easier to see it. I went out this morning. I saw 3 ships. 2 of them, the second I got the camera on them, they disappeared. And, there's a difference between shooting stars, meteorites, and comets. A comet will move across the sky. A meteorite will move across the sky and maybe even head towards Earth and crash into it. All right. But shooting stars really start from one side and go somewhere else. All right. When you see a short blip, if I can put my fingers up, like that far in the sky, it didn't originate somewhere that you could see, and it goes to some place else where you can't see. So a shooting star has to start when it comes into our atmosphere, or even where we could even see it, and cruise until it disappears. But if it's a short blip, it means it was there. It wasn't coming in. So, I mean, that's a new thing you'll see when you're looking at the sky. Oh, it had to be a shooting star. No, it didn't have to be anything. Ships take off real fast. And when you're watching in the sky and watching ships, you'll see a star. You could be watching it, not even notice it, and all of a sudden it just goes like that right off. Oh, it wasn't a star. Okay, and then they try to tell you everything you see is a satellite. Now, satellites for the past 25 years are small. The first ones they sent up a couple big ones the size of a trailer, but they're miles and miles up there. You think you can see a trailer up there like that? Not many at all have lights on them. And now that they're so small, they could be the size of a matchbox or a milk box or something like that. And you think you're going to see that from that kind of distance far away? All right. And what do they have inside it? What's programming? What's moving it? All right. See, they don't even want to talk about those kind of things, what they power these things up with. I mean, and for them to last for a long period of time. But getting back to in the morning, when it's before the sun comes up, to me is the best time. All right. Now, you'll see multiple things, and it's up to you to decide what's real, what's not. Because some of them will come along real fast, some of them will come real slow, and you'll see two go past each other different ways, around each other. They do all kinds of weird things. Some blink. Oh, well, it's a plane. No, it's not. All right. Now, when you see a ship blinking, and it's a UFO, not a plane, everywhere it is, it'll blink. Now, like a plane, they got a blue and red light on one on one side, one on the other, and a tail light. But when you see it blinking, one ball of light, blink, blink, guess what? It's a light, one light. But see, here's the thing I learned. It could be the ship itself that's blinking, not the light on the ship. I can't describe what they are. I mean, I'm not on them, but they could be some kind of dimensional ship or plasma ship, whatever you want to use words. To see the picture on this site when you started the show, that's a plasma ship. All right. Here's the thing, people. When a ship lights up, you can see it no matter where it is, whether it's on the right side of you, left side of you, back of you, whichever way it's going. Now, and if you try to say it's a sun reflection, no, it's not. All right. But here's the thing, people. I have a laser, and I saw it coming along like this. It was a white ball moving like this. And I hit it with the laser. It turned green. The laser beam was green, and it turned green for about 5 seconds. Kept moving, then turned back to white. I hit it with the laser again, turned green again, kept moving, and then it blinked out. All right. A lot of times, if you're trying to film things, you'll never get the really cool things. It just happened to me all my life. All the really cool things I never got to film. I mean, I just actually filmed the blinking ship at me that blinks at me all the time about 3 weeks ago for the first time in years. Because, you know, it's a black sky, and you see a white ball, I go blink. All right, now I got to get my camera out and point it somewhere, wherever I think it was. And then I'll see a blink, and then I'll go to move to where I think it is. And then it won't blink again. I'll move my hand, and it'll blink again. And then you got to try to line up. So it was really almost impossible. I lucked out. But the one time, I saw where it was, I got my camera on it, and I pushed record. It blinked at me 120 times roughly. It could have been a little more or a little bit less, but that's about how many times. In about 10 minutes. All right. So when I went to look at my camera, it was a cell phone, it was dead. Blocked completely. It's like my camera just froze. Never got to record it. One of the coolest things that I thought I was filming. But again, if you have a cell phone with a good camera, you can film just about anything you see, which is what a good thing to get a good cell phone, not a cheap one. If you want to see UFOs and you want to get a picture of them, you need a camera that's capable of filming the dark sky, which is not, the cheaper ones do not do it very well. All right. Even the best ones are okay, but I got, where's my bag? All right. What did I do it? A mono camera, binocular it's called. It's one lens instead of two, but it's got a camera built in, and it's got infrared in it as well. So it was cheap compared to what cameras go for. I wanted an infrared camera that that cost $3,500, which I don't have the money for. So I ended up getting this camera, which works good for me. I mean, I wish I had the other one because you'll see thousands of ships, people. If you got money, $3,500, and want to buy something that'll let you see any kind of creature, entity, ship, buy one. You'll be outrageous, happy, going crazy. What were you going to be seeing every night? Don't point it at the moon. It'll burn the lens out. But you'll see things, all kinds of ships. I mean, if bugs are close, yeah, but you can tell a difference when you see two things going around like this. You know it's not a bug. I mean, there's a lot of things you're going to see that are outrageous. Now, my little thing that I have, I should show it to you. I can film through clouds, not completely dense clouds, but light clouds, because I could see stars and everything, ships as well, when you can't see it with your naked eye, and all you see is clouds. But even this morning when I went out, the clouds came in. But guess what? I could see through the clouds, and the sun just started coming up, which means your eyes no longer can see stars. But with my camera, I could still see the stars. And then it's true, I just put my camera in my bag, and then all of a sudden this ship comes cruising along, and it came out of the clouds. I said, man, but invest a little money. If you're interested in this field, really, I mean, you're listening to my show. Today's my UFO show, but my co-host isn't here. So I can get into a lot of different things. I mean, she's an incredible person. Her story is incredible, and we try to keep it based on a lot of things that she's dealing with as well. Like we take out the Geiger counter about this time, and we show that she's radioactive, which is impossible. She goes up and down in radiation. I don't want to get into that story because she's not here, and I can't show you. But watch her show next Tuesday or last Tuesday. And her radiation's bad. She's having all the symptoms of radiation poisoning, people. I pray that she sticks around. And I keep telling her, I believe the aliens are keeping her alive. She's losing her teeth, she's losing her nails, she's losing her hair, she's passing out. So if you watch the movie Silkwood, you would understand about radiation poisoning, and it doesn't go away and it only gets worse. But the planet is under extreme radiation right now. There's some people out there talking about it, but it's not a big thing that anybody wants to talk about, really, because it's a danger to the planet, danger to the weather, a danger to a lot of things. But again, her story is incredible, but she's not here, and we're not going in that direction. I'm going to bring you in a lot of different directions today, especially these names first. I don't know how long I'm going to do the show. I'm going to do until I get through what I need to do. All right. The next name, which to me is the most dangerous name in the UFO world today. Now, here's the thing, people. The government doesn't like people telling the truth. And 15 people, many of my good friends, disappeared, died. 2 of them were put in jail. 1 of them was put in a nut house. All right, the one in the nut house has been in jail since 1996 in the nut house because they wouldn't even let him go to trial. He shot the best video of a ship crash in which his name's John Ford. Nobody's getting him out of jail. And I said, all these people that have money, people that talk about UFOs, people that anything, why aren't you helping him? He's in jail. They said he had uranium and he was going to kill people in Congress with it. They said he had a barrel of uranium, the most ridiculous statement they could ever put on TV, and they did. People, if you listen to a story from start to finish and go beyond the TV commercial or the news commercial, whatever, the whole story, find out what you can. You're going to find out they don't tell you anything about the truth about the whole situation. He saw this ship crash on Long Island and filmed it. It was the best video of a ship crash ever filmed. Oh man, there's a noise going on. So basically, nobody's helping them. Nobody wants to get in touch with them. I was told if I get involved with them, they'll kill my family. But again, I'm talking about the whole UFO world could actually do it as a group. Hold on, let me close this because there's a big fight starting. Give me 2 seconds. Hold All right, sorry about that, people. Believe it or not, I'm in Hawaii, and it's pretty rowdy in Hawaii, whether you want to know it or not. But all right, now getting back to Mr. Stephen Greer, I want to talk about him. He's what's happening to the UFO world. He's been around a long time. I know I was lecturing with Sergeant 18 from 96 to 2002. And his name was out there in 96. And I was friends with a woman named Almeen Barton, and she was doing the Melchizedek teachings. But she had a bodyguard with him, and he was doing research and background check on Stephen Greer. All the stories that came out, he checked on him, the hospital he was supposed to work at and the things. Couldn't find anything that really matched with what Stephen Greer was saying. I'm just saying what I know for facts and what I was shown and told. All right. Now, when he came out, suddenly he came out with the word disclosure. And over the past 20 years, it became disclosure that he wants to bring out publicly, and he wants to say all aliens are good. All right. Now, second of all, he's got millions of dollars now. He's building a UFO center. But what he wants to do and what he's doing, he's taking people out on a mountain, making them do meditation, and talk to aliens. I just go by the window and I get allergy, it seems like. But okay, he wants them to talk to aliens. And people pay money to go up on the mountain, sit there and talk to aliens with him when they do it in meditation. Sure, balls of light come out. When we discovered orbs in 96, they come to energy. There's different kind of orbs. It could be a creature, it could be a ship, it could be anything. They just look as a ball because that's the image that we perceive. But I can get into it, but I'm not going to get into it right now. But basically, they come in all sizes. All right. And they're at all different levels. They could be in the sky. They could be right next to you. They could go through you. I mean, they had all these words they created many years ago when the Foo Fighters and things like that, when they saw these balls of light come by them and stuff. Sure, people say reflections. I don't want to go into what they're not. There really are something. It could be a whole ship. It could be a drone ship for an alien. It could be a lot of different things. But I even got a picture of one. I'll put it up next week that I shot that came right next to me. But here's the thing, people. When we're dealing with this kind of stuff, the truth's there in between all the lies. Stephen Greer is saying that they're all good and they're going to help us. He said, these are the things he said directly, people. I'm not making it up. I'm just repeating what he said. He was offered $2 billion to walk away from the UFO world. Really? $2 billion. Not $2 million, not $200, but $2 billion. All right. Which he turned down. Why would he turn it down? Well, because he wants his name worldwide as the discovery of disclosure. Second of all, would the government offer $2 billion to shut somebody up? Like I said, I had 15 friends in the UFO world, top speakers as well, taken out. But not for $2 billion even. Probably not even for $500,000. So, the government doesn't waste money. I mean, if we're going to take somebody out, why spend $2 billion when they can do it for $250,000 or even $10,000? So the idea that he was offered $2 billion, really? And he didn't take it? Now, if somebody offered me $2 billion to walk away from my show right now, I'd take it. You know why? Because there's people in the world. And you give them money to do what you need to do. You don't need your name on everything. You don't need your label. Hawksblood discovered this and discovered. Some people do. But ego is the root to all evil. Then it goes into money. But so not to take $2 billion, what he could have did, he could have created a whole UFO dimensional world. Meaning a city and everything else. Have other people build it. He didn't have to put his name on it. I had a friend who I introduced to John Edmund. All right. He's the one that said he killed 18 Greys. And he goes, if I do the book, will the government come after me? Just don't put your name on the book. but he was afraid to do it. Years later, he actually did the book with him and everything else. But the idea is to be afraid of the government. Well, if you are, don't put your name out there. Use Peter Pan and let some guy parade around as Peter Pan. You don't have to be the victim. But again, to turn it down, it's the most ridiculous statement I ever heard. Like I said, if somebody offered me $2 million, I could do an incredible change. I'm more concerned spiritually than UFO world anyway. But again, they're not attacking spiritualism because it doesn't mean anything to the government. So getting back to, he was offered $2 billion to walk away from it. He didn't. But now he's going to build a space center for UFO people and open up little classes to teach people how to talk to aliens. Imagine you want to talk to an alien about what? He said, and this is his words, we don't need a government. We just need to work with aliens. Really? What did they ever do for the human race in 40,000 years? They changed man's thinking. They reprogrammed us. They didn't create us, people. The Anunnaki are not the creators of the human race. But they did program us into killing, sacrifice, torture, eating things, killing things to eat, everything. Everything that moves on this planet, somebody eats it somewhere. So was it beneficial? Of course not. Did they give us anything spiritual in 40,000 years? Well, 2,000 years ago, a spiritual person came out of the woodwork. And to me, sorry, there's nobody spiritual on this planet right now. I don't say I'm spiritual. When I am, I'll be gone. It's that simple. But one person did come. His name was Jesus. But they didn't listen to what he was teaching. And they had to kill him. All right? So, people, the truth is always the fear of mankind. They don't want the truth. They don't want to think they're bad because they're all in hell. They don't want to face that either. Hell's not a place you're going to go to. Hell's a place you need to get out of. And we're all down here until we get out of it. Now, hell is just the bottom of the ladder. Why did God create it? For a reason. Not because he just wants to see people suffer. Because mankind will suffer until they realize they don't need to suffer anymore. But as long as you hold on to it, and attachment's the number one thing that keeps people here, we'll never get out of it. To learn what? There's nothing you can learn on planet Earth from people, scientists, doctors, lawyers, ministers, rabbis, preachers, or any of those words that could be useful to you when you die. Seriously. I go into that. I talk about that. I give some simple little techniques to work with because that's all that is important in this lifetime, which is blocked out. I mean, religion's one thing, spiritualism is another, but both of them don't pertain to a God, one God, the God. I mean, the history started with Hinduism, and it was deities, and there was multiple gods. But again, they were created by God itself, and they each have a certain role to play in their reality and what they do with this reality. If you go back to the beginning of religion, Hinduism, it was all sexual, people, the deities as well. Not that changed much, except the deities aren't walking around on this planet in any great way. I was with a teacher, spiritual so-called master, who was trying to get me to channel a deity into this reality. I actually worked with a deity in a way for about 1.5 years. And the scary part, it was everywhere I went, instant karma hit those people. And I'm not lying about this. Anybody I know, you could ask them. Even Sergeant 18, who I did all my UFO stuff with. My ex-wife, all these people. Instant karma when I met them. When I started working with this deity. Name of the deity was Shiva. It's a guy. But basically, I realized I didn't want to be that or do that. And I let go of it. My teacher said, you can't leave. You have to be and have to channel that deity into this world. I said, no, I don't. I was working with another deity before that, Green Tara. And she's the teacher of compassion, love, but it doesn't exist in this reality at any great level, people. You can believe what you want, say what you want. What's going to happen when you die? Where are you going to go? What are you going to do? And what's your love had to do with anything that's going to happen? You're going to want to reincarnate, but you're not going to reincarnate back to your wife in this reality, in this time. So again, you want to stay in heaven and think you're going to be with all your family? What did you do? What's your karma? And what makes you think their karma is this? People, there's so many things that I could get into, so many ways I could take it, but I'm not going to get through my names if I go way out of line. All right. Stephen Greer is a danger to the whole UFO world. Not talking about the major things that are important. Not Area 51, not Roswell. What aliens are doing to people right now. That's the most important. The government can't stop it. That's where you should be focused on and worry about that. Oh, why do I have to worry about it? Because people are being abducted. More people disappear in parks around the United States and they have no clue how or why. Well, even falling off a cliff, they'd find a body. But there's cars left there. Then people disappear in a day or an hour. A family gets out of their car, they turn around and a child's missing. How's that possible? All right, check it out. There's books on that. There's a couple of books out there. The parks don't have to tell how many people disappear in the park in a year's time, which they should be responsible for telling you. So you're a little more cautious, not that you can stop an alien abduction. But there's things happening to people that are real, and they won't talk about it. So again, when we talk about Stephen Greer saying everything's perfect, aliens are good, it's not even close to the truth. I've been working with abductees since I was 16. I got involved heavily by the time I was 20. I was doing past life regression, and I was doing psychic implant removals when I was 25. All right. When people get abducted, they're stuck with chips and stuff. I mean, there was a person taking chips out of people, but they know where you are and things like that. They'll come back and give you another one. The one I do my show with, she was chipped a couple times. Her boyfriend cut one out of her butt. All right. And I'm not making this stuff up, people. But see, people don't realize at the time how important little things are, like a chip. All right. And things like that. Well, John Edmund just killed an alien before I went to his house. What he said. He said he knocked the house off its foundation and he killed him. And then he says if you don't cut their heads off, the grays, they disappear. All right. So he told me that he killed the gray. So when I went out there, which was a couple of days, 2 days later, I was out there for a while, and he goes, the alien came and I fought with him and I killed him. And I said, well, where's the blood? Oh, I wiped it off. He wiped the blood off. Why would you? He had a sword, which he uses to chomp on his aliens. He wiped the blood off of it. Well, it's an acid. It'll eat through the sword. I said, wouldn't that be better proof than not? And everything he did and everything that I saw was contradictory to what he said. So, I dealt with the highest UFO people you can imagine. Like I said, 15 of them were taken out. So why do the government let me live? I don't know. Maybe they just find more people to take out. And I'm sorry, if you become my friend, you're a danger, you're a target. Sergeant 18 was never taken out. But over the past couple years, 2 years, he became super rich, ended our relationship, and you don't see his site online at all. He just got a lot of money. He set up his new room with a statue of Mary, Mother of Jesus on one side, an alien on the other. And he was started to do his show. And then it ended. All right. And you don't see him anymore. He's kind of hiding. What he did, always hides for like 8 years, and then he comes popping back out. His last prophecy before he left the internet was Jesus is going to come back in 2036 and kill Lucifer. I debated him on that, and I guess it's part of the reason why he didn't like me. But here's the thing, people. People telling the truth in the UFO world, depending what truth they're telling, I try not to attack the government. I don't blame the government at all. It's the people's fault. That they get abducted? No, but they don't bring the truth out and they don't respect it the way it should be. Now it's getting to the point when I told you to watch that video. I'll repeat his name just again so that you do watch it. Gary, Garry, Nolan, Nolan. Interviewed by Tucker, Tucker, Carlson, Carlson. Watch it. Listen to what they're saying. Listen to what the government's doing. The government's really getting involved with people being abducted. Not that they can stop it, at least not yet. I know they have the technology to kill greys, reptilians, and all of them. All right, that's a fact. But again, I mean, there's so many ships around the planet in a given day, around the whole planet, everywhere. What are they doing? Why are they here? That's all people ask. What are they doing? Why are they here? Nobody does nothing without a reason. And the other word I always use with the reasoning is the agenda. Why are they here? I don't want to get into that in great detail, but they're here for a reason. And what's the number one thing that every single thing that's alive needs? Is called food. And that's the foundation for life, period. All right. Now, I want to mention this guy. I didn't know him. I brought him on my show. Sylvan Rochin, Rochon, Rochin, I think that's how you spell it. He's building a city. He's got millions of dollars. He's building a city for aliens. He wants the aliens to come down here, and then they can meet with government people and everything in his city. Why does he think aliens will come to his city? Because he's going to talk to the people in power? You think aliens worry about the people in power? Putin said he's working with 27 alien races. He actually said this 6 months, or not 6 months, 4 months before Trump was elected, that 2 of the races want to destroy the planet. He said that. He said, Trump, I want you to tell the truth about aliens. I want you to tell the truth about 9/11. And that was before he was elected president. I think you need to find out more about that. I thought I had the part saved, but it was in Russian. My friend was translating it. But again, people, the truth's there. But what happens to it is incredibly crazy, how it disappears, changes, or becomes something totally different. All right. So this guy is going to create this giant place for aliens to land and come and all that. You think how many races are going to come here and hang out and talk? There's multiple races here, and they're not all friends with each other. Think about history. How many races were here? How many races left, including the giants? And there were multiple giants. All right. And why none of them are here? All right. Why aren't all the bodies here? Why aren't they find a couple here and there? But why? Where's all the real rest of it? All right. There's a lot more to the story that the government can't release or won't release. That they know. All right. All right. So let's go on to now. She's famous. She's on Ancient Aliens a lot. She did 2 movies. Caroline Corey. Check her out. Listen to her. Listen to what she says. She claims she can levitate a piece of paper. Wow. But you can levitate a piece of paper. You can levitate a car. You can levitate a car. You can levitate a building, a house, a mountain. But guess what? That's not happening. But she says she can change people's DNA. She proved it with these scientists. Now, I studied with a medicine woman for 26 years. She worked with Kruger, a scientist, and they work for the government, proving I do this prayer like this. You breathe energy and you go over your food and purify it. All right. She proved it changes the energy in the food years ago. So that's not a big thing when the people want to think it's so outrageous. Oh, I can change DNA. DNA is not who and what you really are. Soul is not DNA. And so many people don't understand the difference. Well, we're going to change the DNA. Changing your body is not going to change your soul. Changing anything about your body is not going to change anything about your soul. But I want to just keep going on. So her movies, watch them. I just watched the second one. It's online. You can watch it on, I forgot which, one of the paid TV video channels, whatever. But they talk about drones and hybrids and all that and make it sound good. Really? Sorry, people. That's not the way we need to go, but we're going there anyway. But then while that's happening, people, the other word is artificial intelligence. Meaning, guess what? They don't need real people in the future. Not humans, not ones that have to eat and have 10 hours a day of sleep and all those other things. Just make a drone that can run 24 hours, 7 days a week, and be much smarter as well. It doesn't need to take drugs, doesn't need to drink, and doesn't need to do all the other things that most people need to do to survive in this world. All right, that's all I'm going to say about it, but check it out. Watch her stuff. Listen to her. Listen to the people she brings on. Everybody out there in the UFO world trying to make everything about aliens good, all right? It's not. Anna Hayes, Ashana Dinique, I can't even say it, but she died on December. She claimed she worked with 127 races. I knew her personally. She was on the same wavelength as my friend Sergeant 18. But I'm going to skip her because she's not around. All right. Drumbalel Melchizedek. All right. Teaching Melchizedek's teachings. If you don't know what they are, listen to some of his stuff. He claimed years ago he's working with the alien races inside the earth called the crystal race. He said he put 100 people down in there. They saw the aliens and everything, and they came back up here. He was going to bring them out to the world. Never happened. Wonder why. All right. Now we got Nasser Harriman. He claims to be like the creator of the string theory. He didn't create the string theory, but he talks about it, and he worked with it, and blah, blah, blah. But he claims he has the Ark of the Covenant. The Ark of the Covenant. He has it. Maybe in his back pocket. But he says he needs money. When I saw him, he came to Hawaii. He needs money. He needs millions of dollars. He's building a machine that can link his up with the one that the government has. So he says the government has the Ark of the Covenant too. They each have one. And if he links his up with that one, he can change the complete vibration of the planet. All right. So, like he has the right to do that. Drumbalel Melchizedek. Check him out. He's been around a long time. He's considered a spiritual speaker, and he's not talking about that much anymore, is he? All right. Now, we got somebody like David Wilcock, who's been around a long time. He's a great speaker. Not what he's saying is important, but he says a lot of stuff. He claims a lot of things, claims he knows all this stuff, but he doesn't know completely what he's talking about. And to show you, he did a workshop rather recently with Daniel Brinkley, all right, who wrote the book Saved by the Light. All right, he said he was hit by lightning 3 times, which is another story. All right, people come out with stories. Whatever the truth is, they exaggerate it or change it to make it fit to what they think people want to hear, which is usually what they want to hear. A great story. He was doing a workshop on a rainbow body. And he was going to teach people how to go into the rainbow body. You can't go into the rainbow body and he has no clue what he was talking about. It's what the high lamas do when they die. But they released a lot of facts showing a lot of the stuff was lies, twisted. When he first went on TV, he said he was God. All right. So check him out. I'm sure you heard his stuff. I mean, some of his stuff sounds so incredible. You know, like they say, when it's too good, you know it can't be good or true. The same as if it's too incredible, obviously it's not true or not even close to the truth. Well, I got this one name. I'm not going to talk about it, but this other name, Victoria. I'm going to spell it Liljenquis. She says she's the captain of the Galactic Federation. All right, she says a lot of things. I actually talked to her. I asked her for a reading on one question. She goes, well, I know you can't answer it. She goes, well, I can answer it. I said, well, I'll tell you it. And she goes, well, don't worry, it's not bad. Tell me what I asked her wasn't bad, which it is. And then I asked her, why would you think it's good? Oh, it's not a bad situation. And what we were talking about is called time travel. And she tries to tell me time travel is good. I was friends with Al Bielek, the only person that I know really went back in time. All right. And she's saying it's good. She doesn't know the story at all, what happened with him and what went down in the future. Never mind what time travel can do. Watch Groundhog Day. All right, people. This is a guy, he goes to sleep. When he wakes up, he starts the day over again. Same day over and over and over. He knows everything that's happened in the town because he's going through each experience every day. He does something different. He learns about this. He learns everything. And he just keeps adding it day by day. And he doesn't know if he is ever going to stop. He even tries killing himself and everything else. But he keeps going back every day learning more. But time travel, going back in time and changing something, changes the present reality. I mean, if you can't figure that out, that's pretty bizarre. And she tried to say it's a good thing. I said, what's good about it? If you destroy a continent, or say the United States is going to destroy Russia, and we destroy Russia, and they go back in time and destroy the United States. I mean, it's a horrible thing. It's the most horrible weapon that could exist because it can actually destroy our reality, not just the planet, our whole reality. So, check her out. Listen to what she's saying. When people claim anything outrageous, I don't claim anything outrageous. I mean, I can admit that I used most of the psychic abilities when I was young for about a year to understand them and realize they can't be used on this planet in this reality without really causing serious problems or different things to happen. All right. I mean, you got voodoo, witchcraft, and all those kind of words that can actually affect things. But when you go into greater awareness, you don't need to do those things because it's not going to help mankind. You can't make anybody else become spiritual. You cannot. And if God wanted everybody to be spiritual, we wouldn't be dummies. All right? Think about it. Well, they're all rapists, murderers, killers, blah, blah, blah. Because they're learning. And he gave us free will. That's where free will exists, not on this planet. You don't got free will to do anything. You don't have free speech even. So how far do you think you can get? Not very far. All right, let me just go. All right. So that was Nasser Harriman, okay, with the Ark of the Covenant. Then I only got like one other person that I have a problem with, and his name's Neil Donald Walsh, Conversation with God. All right, I text him a lot. I try to debate him. I said, you got any balls to debate me live, online or offline? He can't do that. Nobody I know in the UFO world is willing to talk to me anymore because they're afraid their truth will be destroyed. And in the Emerald Tablets, they taught that the truth will always destroy the lies in the end, which it will. But when is the end, and how far does the end have to be before it happens? But when people talk like they're talking to God, God doesn't talk to anybody on this planet. Doesn't come into the lower realms at all. If it did, this vibration of its vibration of this planet would destroy it instantly. All right, that's why there's angels. That's why there's deities. All right, and that's why there's demons. All can play with that energy in the lower realm. But what he says, love, is not the answer for anything. It is not, people. Love did not exist for our past 40,000 years, people. Did you hear me? Should I say it again? Love did not exist for 40,000 years to now. 2,000 years ago, Jesus was talking, and he was friends with Mary Magdalene. Not friends, he became his wife. She became his wife. She had his daughter. In fact, I was there, but you don't need to know that. It doesn't matter right now. But he showed his love to her. All his disciples got married, and then in a Christian religion, the Catholics were not allowed to get married. Did that make any sense? Who twisted that around to not let it happen? Man's ego came back. Men always think they're better in porn. I guess it's the story of Adam and Eve affected probably, I'd say, 80% of the planet that heard it, thinking that men are better than women, that women came out of a man. No, they did. She did not. No, it did not happen that way. But even the Pope said that Adam and Eve was a fake story. What does he know, though? He wasn't there. So, but if you listen to what Jesus said, which is not much in the Bible, there's a lot of stuff that Jesus talked about, but he only talked about it to his disciples. For one reason. Mary Magdalene was my closest friend. I was able to stay with her when Jesus was there for the last month of his life. All right, but people don't want to know. They don't want the truth. They don't want to know what Jesus was really teaching. They're happy with what they were programmed to believe that he was teaching. Love is not the answer for anything. Do you see it changing anything on the planet? And over the past 25 years, divorce is happening in greater numbers, whether you're married 2 years, 20 years, 40 years, and people get divorced. You think love would grow and grow and grow, but it doesn't. Most people have a problem and their love is splintered right away because they don't know what love is, because love doesn't exist here on this planet greatly. Reflections of it does, but it's only reflecting one thing, people. Not how much you love your dog, your cat, your wife, your child, your brother, sister, mother. No. How much you understand God and what its love for us is. Why would it love us and let us stay in hell? Because we don't have to stay in hell. But if you choose to, you will. And that's a simple thing that people might not ever learn in 10, 20, 30 lifetimes. Because they're still here and they still didn't learn it. So, I went through a bunch of names. All right, people. But I need you to check these people out. Listen to what they're saying. See if it can help you in your daily life. Oh, you're much better than what you are right now. Oh, are you really? How do you get better? Get a better paying job? Become a better lover? What makes you better? Enter the sports and beat somebody up and say you're better because you beat 10 people up? What's the story, people? Where do you get being better? How do you become better? And then add the word spiritual. What makes a person spiritual? Talking to an alien? Think an alien's going to come down here and make you spiritual? They don't have feelings and emotions. All right, people? When they do operations on people and they do things, they don't care. Give me one split second. Let me just see if this is anything important. I don't know if it is. I just finished this letter. Hold on. I have to listen to people like the message that I was just given. Aliens are already here. They're not coming. No, they're coming, people. And I'll tell you why. All right. There's multiple races out there, and they're not all here. The ones that were here already left. All right. People. Oh, man, I'm getting attacked every which way. All right. They were already here. No, they're already gone, people. And the drones that are walking around and the hybrids are not the alien races that we're talking about. We're talking about the reptilians, the greys, the mantis, and all those kind of beings. Not the Sumerians, the Pleiadians, and all those kind of names, the ones that look fairly human. All right. But the ones that are really playing with planet Earth, playing with the human race, that played with us in the beginning, that destroyed Atlantis. People, they're not here. Look around you. Show one real alien. Bring them to the White House. Bring them to anywhere. Bring all the press reporters in there and let them prove that they're an alien. I'm an alien. Really? I did a TV show with two other people. One said he was a reptilian, and the other one was bragging she had sex with a reptilian. So they asked him to stick his tongue out and make it go. He goes, I can't do that publicly. And she was just describing how much sex was incredible with the reptilian. So again, people could say a lot of things. Proof is important when you say something that outrageous and you want people to believe it. I'm telling you this, people, when I talk, when I give speeches, when I do workshops, all I'll say is, you don't have to accept anything I say. You need to prove it to yourself that it's important, not that you had it. Even if you stood next to an alien, was it beneficial? Of course not. Did they help you? No, they did not. I was doing UFO conferences, and one person was dealing with the Nordics. I said, what did they do? Oh, I was in a car crash, and they took me out of the car. I said, yeah, well, what else did they do? He couldn't name one other thing. All right, people say things like they're here. They're not here, not in any great way. Yeah, they live inside the earth. There's colonies here and there, but they're not public. They're not playing with us outside, not walking around the streets, shooting beams at people and doing those kind of things. All right, they're not eating people in public either, are they? Have a human cookout today. You want to come? All right, people, I deal with the real world. I deal with the facts. I saw an alien. I was next to an alien. I was next to a ship that was trying to abduct my brother. I mean, I was next to a Bigfoot. All right. I got involved with the whole Montauk Project, which was the most dangerous thing that happened, that allows other creatures into this world now, people, that were never here. Just so you know, they're not all here, and there's not that many races here, but there's many that are coming or hanging around now. Like I said, there's millions of ships around the planet now on a daily basis, but they're not the same race. I saw 2 ships get wasted in an hour in Hawaii. So people, there's a lot more going on. The government had wars with aliens, and so did Putin. How could he say aliens are trying to destroy the planet? Why would he say that? How could he say that? Or how would he know it? People, you don't want the truth, don't listen to my show. Listen to all these people in the UFO conference saying, oh, the good aliens are doing this and that. And really, name one good thing they're doing. The only thing that they did, which wasn't a good thing, but to us thinking, well, they shut our nuclear reactors down for an hour and things like that. So they got power over us, but they don't stop war, do they? They don't stop the crime. They don't stop anything. They don't care about like a tsunami wiping out a city. They don't help those people. They don't hold back the flood. They don't do anything important. Why is that? If you're a spiritual being and have any kind of power, which they do, they're a lot more use psychic senses a lot more than humans do. When they levitate or move somebody through a wall, or through a door, through a window, whatever, and beam them up onto the ship and things like that, they use them. But they don't realize it's against the spiritual laws of this reality now not to use them. So they're not moving forward spiritually. They're not here to teach us anything spiritual. So people, with that, I'm going to kind of end the show today. All right. I got into a lot of things which I usually wouldn't or don't do when Tina's around. But people, you want to write me? You want to debate me? Skype me, Hawksblood 11. You want the truth or not? You want to deal with the lies of everybody else out there? Science has no clue to anything important. When they play with food, tell you what to eat, what not to eat. They change that every year. What to do, what to breathe, how to breathe. I mean, what water is safe? No water is safe. No air is safe. The dirt's not even safe. So where are we going? Contaminating the world. Why? Aliens need the planet radioactive, people. If you don't know this, go on, search out radiation on the world today. It's super high. They need it much more than that to survive here. And the Greys live underground. They can't live above ground. Reptilians can't live here yet. It's not radioactive enough for them to live here. People, the facts are there. Just look at the events. Look at what's happening. Look why we're not going anywhere, why we're moving backwards, and why, here's something you need to pull up. And this isn't really relating to the UFO world. It's called UN Agenda 21-30. What's going to happen in the next 8 years? What's accepted by 193 countries? And I mean, when Gates talks about wants to eliminate meat, and I saw this religious preacher just saying this morning, "Oh, they're going to try to get us eat vegetable burgers and change our DNA so that we're not human." And I said, these people don't realize. I said, if you're a religious person, what I said to him, Jesus said, it's not what you put in your body, it's what comes out. And to think that eating vegetable burgers is going to change your DNA and make you into an alien or forget God. These people have no clue, no understanding of their own truth, and they want you to believe what they're saying because it said it somewhere in a book. And they didn't even understand what it was written in the book that they're talking about. I am talking about the Bible. All right. Now, I'm aware of most of I probably can say all of them, all my past lives, back to Atlantis and one before it. And we are the worst than we have ever been. The only time we were at peace, love existed, was Atlantis. Aliens didn't understand that. They still don't understand it. They monitor us for a lot of reasons. Why we do what we do and why and all that. How come? But they don't understand feelings and emotions, which they're not going to get. They're going to reincarnate into a human in the next life or the lifetime after that. If they're ready to even take a step forward from where they are. Again, this is hell. You can stay in it as long as you want. If planet Earth was destroyed, you'd still be in hell somewhere. If you have karma and you're attached to this world, you'll be reincarnating back to wherever the new Earth is. You don't go to the next realm because you die. You go there for a short time before you reincarnate, but you have to come back here. And you want to go into those details anytime, but not today. I'll do that. I do that when I talk about spiritual teachings and things like that. All right, where you need to focus and what's happening. But in this reality, the UFO world is pretty messed up, and it's getting worse every day. Mankind's going to believe millions and millions of lies, and that is scary. Because, aliens aren't here to help us. They can't help us do anything. They're not here to take our gold. They're not here for all the stupid stories you hear all along the way. We can make gold now. They're thousands of years more advanced than we are. You don't think they know how to make gold or didn't? They knew how to make gold a long time ago, and they need us to mine it. Then why did they leave all the kings and pharaohs and all these people with tons of gold if they needed it? Just take it. People, look at your stories, look at the facts, and look why you come up with some stupid ideas. How's that even real? What do you drink? What do you smoke? What do you do? Do you drink? I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't do drugs. But oh, maybe I should. No, why? Then I'll be in touch with the reality of darkness and the real word darkness, meaning living in this reality, thinking it's important. You think this world's important to God? What do we do that could benefit God? Name one thing, people. Have sex, have children? Think that helps God? Overpopulating a planet? Abusing the people that you create? That's benefiting God in any way? Destroying everything it gave us? Making everything that we have toxic? You think that's beneficial to God? And you think you're going to go to heaven? Why? What are you doing? Can you tell anybody what's good and what's bad? Oh, everything's not okay. Nothing's okay. Nothing's right. Well, I could change my body. Well, change your body. Become a bat. Become a creature. Whatever. And they will be soon. A couple countries legalized cloning animals and humans together. Legalized it. Not that they weren't doing it, but they legalized it, people. What do you think you're going to see coming out of Japan and China real soon? The only thing I think that they're going to really try for sooner or later is putting wings on a person. Imagine being able to fly. Everybody goes through that desire once in their life somewhere along it. But imagine trying to really create a human with the flies. I mean, do you remember the movie The Fly, where two people got in a transporting machine and they split the DNA cells of the cells of each other? One became a fly with a human's head, and the other one became a human with a fly's head, because the fly got into the chamber when it was going through the change. Well, that could happen so easily in the near future. And we won't even really have to worry about trying to create it. Now, the creatures that they're finding, they're not sure how they were created. I mean, even the Koopa Chopper monster, it's a creature. They still don't know its DNA. They got one. They said it's not related to any creature on this planet. Why it's a blood-sucking animal, and all the skins of an elephant and all those things. It wasn't just a freak. There has been many of them. So people, with all that, enjoy your day. Try to. Enjoy your night, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. Send this link to everybody you know. Send it to all the UFO people that you think are intelligent, smart. Send it to those named people that you might be friends with. I've been trying to get in touch with Lou Elizondo. He won't even get in touch with me. He's afraid to. And I hate to say it because I'd love to talk to him, that he's controlled by the government. He said he worked for them. And if you leave the government, they watch what you do. And if it's going to take away from anything, what do they talk about? What's he talk about? A tic-tac. Sergeant 18 and I shot ships in 96 and put the pictures out there. Real ships, not drones, not toys, not any of that stuff. Billy Myers started in 1950. And I'm not going to go into detail, but he was the first person to publicly say, I can film ships, they're on my property all the time, and blah, blah. And he put all these videos up. Now, I kind of wanted to believe him all the time, but look at his videos of a ship. It's over a tree, and it's going around a circle. An alien comes from space, comes to his property, and goes, film us. We're going to go around a tree over and over. Why not land and stand in front of the camera? All right, you see, all the things you hear are not making sense because they're all lies. The truth doesn't change. Only lies do. With that, again, I'm trying to say goodbye, people. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your night. Oh, man, I lost my comment, but that's okay. Nobody popped on into the comment room. But people, please send this link to many people if you can. I'm not trying to make money. I'm not in this world like all these UFO. You know what a speaker gets? Last thought. When they do a conference, the main speakers, imagine $15,000. Imagine $20,000 to talk for 2 hours. Have dinner with a bunch of people. And that's it. That's all you got to do. And tell a great story for 2 hours. Well, people, think about where you're going to spend your money and why. Food's going to be hard to get. All those other things. Spending $2,000, $4,000 to go to a UFO conference to learn stories about the great aliens that are going to come help you. Please, people, it's not like that. This is the real world. You're in hell. You see anything getting better out there? You're watching the things that happen, the flooding around the planet, the disasters happen. The Philippines got hit with a 7.4 earthquake a couple days ago. People got killed. I mean, do you care what happens? When Tibet got hit so hard, what it did, and then China took it over. But people, do you watch anything? Do you care? Oh, you're a spiritual being? Do you care about other people? Do you? And you think they're all spiritual? Think we're all connected to God? No, we're not. You're not connected to anything until you know what you're connected to. And you're definitely not beneficial to whatever you're connected to if you're not working at the level of what you're connected to as. And a human isn't very much a great asset for God. A spiritual being is one that went past the astral plane. Then you start working for God. And it's not about ego. It's not about mind. I could go on forever, people. Sorry. Enjoy your day. Till next time. Bye.